Hey YouTube, in this video we're going to be putting those wooden hinges to use on this basic storage chest. Let's do it. Alright, for a little context, I'll tell you that this is for my mother. We both thought that a blanket style chest would accommodate her needs. So we measured the footprint and came up with 22 inches tall, 56 inches wide, and 14 inches deep. And since I'm going for function over aesthetics, I chose to use pine, which you can get some good pine out of 2x10 and 2x12 material. The edges are usually quarter sawn or rift sawn, so that makes a pretty stable board if you cut that off of those bigger boards. So that's what I did. I began the milling process by breaking those 2x10s down, first by ripping them in half on the bandsaw. Then it was just a matter of laying out the individual parts on each board. While doing so, I tried to avoid, the knots and holes and stuff like that in the boards. And you just cut those out on the miter saw. And after that, you start facing them on the joiner, each board. Then you got to do all the edges. Once you get all the edges done, it's over to the planer. Make the other side parallel. Then it's straight to the table saw, where I cut them all to 4 inches wide. Then I took the opportunity to go ahead and fill some of the unavoidable knots and holes with some CA glue. It's black Starbond glue, love that stuff. And a little accelerator, and sanded them down before gluing them up in the clamps here. Yeah, and this process took a little longer than I would have liked too, because I totally ran out of clamps. So I had to do these two panels, we'll let that dry, then take those out, and then do the other two panels. But I eventually got her done. Once I got them out of the clamps, I started sanding. I was just using my orbital sander at first and quickly realized that that wasn't going to cut it. So I broke out the belt sander, which got them flat pretty quick. I did go back over after that with some 120 on the orbital sander just to get rid of the 80 grit marks from the belt sander. But once I got all that done, I was able to take it over to the miter saw and square up one end, and then I'll go over to the table saw and square up the other end. And then for the longer panels, I just used a straight edge in my router to trim the edges square. And then this is where I started laying out my joinery that I'm going to use to put this box together, which is going to be box joints around each corner. So I'm just measuring the thickness there with the marking gauge, and that's how deep I'll mark these fingers. I think I ended up giving myself an extra 1/16 of an inch so the fingers will stick out that far and I can sand them flush later. And there's probably 1,000 different ways you can cut these finger joints out, and I just started winging it. I was in a hurry just wanting to get it done, and I didn't even clamp it down to the table. Look at it sliding around. Anyways, I got it done eventually. The router helped it cut out. Once I had one done, I was able to use that as kind of a template to do the other side for the long boards. And then I just repeated that whole process for the short boards. And then after a quick test fit, I set up the dado on the table saw and test fit to make sure that it was going to fit the plywood I'm going to use for the bottom. And that's a pretty good fit. Now I didn't want the dado to show on the ends, so I had to do a start and stop point. I just marked that on my table saw fence and started and stopped on the line, and then just cleaned it out with a chisel at the workbench. And then it was just a matter of cutting a piece of plywood to fit in the dado. The dado's 3/8 of an inch deep, which meant that my plywood had to be the internal dimension of the box plus 3/4, which would give me a 3/8 inch lip all the way around. Now, if you haven't noticed in the video, I'm correcting a mistake. I cut the dado on the wrong side. I cut it on the top instead of the bottom of that one panel. So I had to go and cut me a strip and fill that dado, flush trim that down, and then recut the dado on the correct side and chisel it out and go through that whole process again. It was a pain in the ass, so I ain't gonna make y'all watch it. But when you see the end product, you'll see it, so I didn't want to just gloss over that fact. I eventually got it to fit, and once I got to this point, the dry fit was good, and I decided before I was going to glue it up, I better go ahead and put finish on the interior, because that is a super pain to try to clean up any glue squeeze out that might come out inside when you're doing box joints. So I just taped the fingers where I want glue to go, and shellacked the rest of it with just regular shellac. I did like 3 coats on the inside there. And now when I glue it up, the glue won't stick to the shellac and it'll pop off pretty easy. Well, once I got it to this point, it was time to glue it up. So I just grabbed some Titebond 3, smeared it all over the fingers, got it down in the dado for the bottom. And then I did use some cawls that I made up, so they'll go around each and every one of those fingers without getting stuck to the glue. And then I also had to buy some pipe extensions to make my pipe clamps long enough. And then once it was dry, I just removed all the clamps and went ahead and grabbed the belt sander, since that worked pretty good before for me. Sanded all the fingers flush. And I did end up with some gaps in the fingers, but like I said before, this is function, not aesthetics. It's going to hold together really well. Plenty of glue in there. It's going to hold this thing together for a long time. And I wanted this thing up off the ground a little bit, so I decided to make some little feet to put in the corners and 2 in the middle there. I also took my router and a 45-degree chamfer bit and chamfered the bottom edge of the box. And after checking the feet and the fit and stuff, I thought it'd be cool to go ahead and chamfer the feet as well. I put a little bit deeper of a chamfer on the box, and then took my feet over to the table saw and just angled the blade to 45 and put a chamfer on them as well. And then after a quick test fit, I just took some Titebond 3, a few weights, and glued them to the bottom. While I was waiting on that glue to dry, I went ahead and turned my attention to the lid. Of course, I had to break out the belt sander again because it was not flush. Anyway, I got it. I got the seams and the glue lines looking good with the belt sander. I used the best boards that I had for the lid, but the bottom side, the inside facing side of the lid, still had some knot holes that I had to fill with CA glue. By the time I got done with that, the feet were dry, so it's time to flip this thing over and start on the hinges. I just lined up the barrel with the crack between the lid and box and screwed them down. At this point, I decided to dress up the top with another chamfer. I didn't want to blow out the end, so I just clamped on one of those cawls that I used earlier to catch the end of the pass with the router bit so it won't blow out. You'll see what I'm talking about here in a second when I'm finished. Yeah, you don't want that on your finished piece. So anyway, with that, it's pretty much built. I mean, I still have the I have to glue in the barrels to the hinges. and then of course finish it. But that's going to be a whole nother video. Tune in next time for that.